Good morning from Westpac Trading Room and welcome to another Finance AM podcast. I'm Ray Spicer, Westpac Market Strategist. In the financial markets overnight, we saw sentiment cooling somewhat amid concerns that the recent surge in commodity prices may add to inflationary pressures and thereby derail the global economic recovery. The S&P 500 is currently down 0.8% on the day, but currencies overall little changed. The US dollar is little changed, and bond yields, they are slightly higher. In the currency markets, the US dollar index unchanged on the day, sitting still at a 2-month low. The Aussie dollar initially rose from 78.40 to 78.91 and did make a fresh 2-month high before retracing back to 78.40 for no net change. Kiwi dollar was a similar story, round-tripping from 72.69 to 73.05 and back. And the Aussie Kiwi also round-tripped from 107.80 to 108.14 and back. In the interest rate markets, the US 2-year Treasury yield rose a basis point to 2.15%, and the 10-year yield, which initially dipped from 160 to 146, then rose back to 161, so net 1 basis point gain on the day. Worth noting that 10-year Treasury break-even inflation in the US extended a year-old rally from 2.51% to 2.59%. That's a fresh high since 2013. And in the commodity markets, they took a breather, or most of the instruments did. Brent crude oil unchanged. Copper pulled back about 1%. Gold is up 0.4%, while iron ore, spot iron ore, has risen 8.4% on the day to $230. That's a record high for spot iron ore. The economic information out overnight was not really market moving, but we did have a couple of Fed speakers. Worth noting that Kaplan's sticking to his hawkish line, saying tapering talks should start soon. Even given that Labour data disappointment, he thought that the data was due to labour supply issues. And Dove Evans said it's going to take some time for the Fed to see progress on their goals. On the jobs report, he thought, yes, it was a surprise, but likely just a 1-month thing. He said strong jobs growth is expected this year. On the day, what's out there could be market moving. Markets will be watching the Australian federal budget. We're expecting a reduction in the operating deficit and also a reduction in the government bond borrowing program. In New Zealand, we'll have the monthly retail card spending data for the month of April. It should be a decent number given the February and March figures were restrained by the dialing up of COVID alert levels. In China, we'll have inflation data, CPI and PPI, which will reveal the start of a temporary spike in these prices. And in the US, second tier data only, but worth watching, small business sentiment survey and the JOLTS job openings report. We also hear from the Fed's Williams and Brainard, as well as Daily speaking again. Well, that's it from me today. Thank you for listening. I'll be back again same time tomorrow morning.